Okay, community service. So here you would go away for some real basic training where you will learn from many different categories. So there's the health and nursing and hospital and science, so drugs and medicine. That's one category, and I think I might have everyone in that category has to become a nurse first, so that we have a good base of nurses available for crisis situations. It's not the worst thing to learn nursing. And then, so like a doctor has to be a nurse first, a scientist has to be a nurse first, so that we know, so that they know who they're dealing with. Then, teachers is the next one. That's also under mental health, I should say, and human whole person knowledge. So I guess that's also a little bit, it's that. Then the next one is food, water, land, and oceans. So that's how to produce it, how to take care of it, recycling, that sort of stuff. Then the next one is self-defense, discipline, and self-policing. That's a little bit sort of like the reserves, a reserve unit. So people to be on guard if needed, but they're in the background. They will go and have special trainings done so that they're prepared in case of an emergency, but they're not always around and doing things. Then we have still sort of technology, and that goes with all kinds. That's computer to travel to asteroids, just everything. We have to keep an eye on the asteroids, and I've been saying all along we need to build something to deflect or destroy an asteroid that's coming towards the planet, because I think that that's probably what's ended a lot of civilizations on our planet here, and we need to build a machine to do that for sure. Then we have construction, building and repair, and also public transportation. So that's a whole section there. And then we have government and community, sharing libraries of books and toys and games and other things, cars and bikes and all sorts. And then also history, keeping of history. So those are the sort of community service ideas that I have so far. Again, I'm open to ideas. So if you think that I've mislabeled or put something in someplace funny, let me know, because I'm here for you, and we're doing this together. Then we have the category of parenting, which after that first community service, when you're working 2 days a week, I might recommend that everybody anyways goes into a parenting course, whether it's for 1 day a week or 3 days a week. I suppose it depends on if you're planning on already becoming a parent or if you want to wait a while. And the reason for that is because I think a lot of people today are so removed from being around a child that it's hard for us to understand how to raise kids. So I want to get people as prepared as possible to understand the roles of being parents. And I will say so far, in the apprenticeship program, you start, if we're talking about the money theory thing, you start already earning some money with 15 in your apprenticeship. Then when you go into the community service And, the U.S. might send you to various states to learn your trade in a different area, to show you the country first off, and to build your appreciation for what we have as the United States. And then, so you'll see different things that way. So you'll vacation while learning, and then also you earn money. You earn a bit more money than you were earning at the apprenticeship. Then when you come back, you will start in this sort of, how can I say it? In the job. So you're sort of back working 2 days community, 2 days in a job. And the reason why I have people only working sort of 2 days is because part of your workload is working for your town in whatever community service you've been signed up for. It's sort of like your taxes. So in a sense, you won't be paying taxes anymore. You'll be doing work. You'll be participating in your community. Then the other part is, robots are coming, and we have a lot of people who either aren't working or whose jobs will be obsolete soon. So this is to also help people to have some sort of job, but not too much, because other people also want to have a job too, a purpose. We all need purposes. But also, it gives you free time to experience other things as well. So, for example, if you go into parenting, you will do that more on a full-time basis, perhaps, if you do the mother part of parenting, which is number 1, and then the father part of parenting is number 2. Or I should say, the main parenting role or the satellite role. And it can be either or. It can be the man or the woman in the couple, or it could be if you have the same sex partnership, then, or marriage, I should say, then you have to decide who's taking what role on. So that one person who is the more nurturing, I suppose, or whatever is more convenient, one person stays home, and the other person spends more time maybe away from the home. On the other hand, we could also make it more even, where there is no satellite. Again, this is all sort of gray area. These are only my thoughts. I do want input from others, so we can come up with some other ideas. I guess it should be stated that healthcare is free, schooling is free, and by the time you become parents, you should have a certain base of knowledge that you're ready to pass on to the next generation, to your children. So parenting can start anywhere in your 20s. You can continue to work a job and your community service. That is not a problem. And you can also move places and do your community service at other places. But let's say that already with 20 you say, no, I want to be a mom. So then comes the mother's pay, or the main pay, the main stay-at-home person. And there, by being a parent, you get a lot of manager skills. So you learn time management, you learn household tasks and deadlines. You're a taxi, you have to get food on the table, you have to deal with crises and conflicts and organizing events. You have to listen, and you have to give tender love and care. There's lots of counseling and supporting that goes on, as well as being a cheerleader and problem solving. And basically the main person is on call 24 hours a day, every day of the week. So that's the idea of the main person. And now the reason why I want to call it mother's pay is because for a couple of reasons. So first off, women have been being mothers, doing all of that stuff I just told you about, for at least 150, 200 years for free. And, you know, there used to be a time where there was the man of the house or the head of the household would get a good salary, and it was enough for everybody. But it's been a long time since that's been true. And we're sort of in this transition period to equality, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. So now what's happened is everybody's fighting for the same amount of money, but there's still this need, of course, you know, or there's still this overlap of being a parent and being a working full-time parent. And when your child is sick, you know, you have to be able to take time off. And so your employer doesn't want to pay you because of that, because you're risky, because, you know, whatever. And so we're at this place where parenting has become a hobby. It's not paid, it's free. We do it for free. And I think to bring respect to the position of being a mother and respect to women in our society, it should be labeled mother's pay. So that is one reason why I want to call it that. On the other hand, you know, if we can somehow ease the stress of people, I think we can become equal quicker going a different route, like without money, and then we don't have to label it mother's pay anymore. Then we can just, well, we don't have any money. So then you don't earn money, you don't need money, there's no money needed, everybody does their job, and life goes on. But in this case, we're talking about mother's pay, and so those are my reasons behind really trying to stick with the term mother's pay and not go for this universal pay, because it's anyways going to be not even, and we need to bring everybody to the same level. And I'm not sure if by just paying everybody the same that's going to happen. You're still going to have certain people who are untrained who are going to think, oh, I don't have to do anything, you know, she's going to do it all, and we'll still have the same problems. Just, you know, people will be getting paid some money for it. So I don't think that's the answer. I think we have to really make it specific. But the other thing is we have the satellite person who will also get a pay. So that can be called father's pay. I don't mind. And or we can call it satellite pay, whatever. But we'll call it father's pay for right now. And then they get a certain amount of money, but the idea there is it's only enough to get by to a low level, and then if they want to increase that, then they need to contribute more to the community, not just their community service, but they have to be working outside of the home. So whoever gets the main pay or the mother's pay will be working really in the home, taking care of the children, taking care of the household to an extent, and so on and so forth. It's really the job of that. That's your main job. You can also have little side things, like when I was a mom, you know, I ran once a week or once every 2 weeks an exercise class for moms and kids called Mini Mookie Gym, where, you know, the kids were climbing on things and the moms were helping them learn how to crawl and walk and jump, and we sang songs together and stuff. And there are little jobs, or organizing. I used to organize events too when my daughter was younger. So you're still active, you're just active with children. You're just working in the children's world at that time. So then, yeah. Now, one reason why I really like parents and parenting, and I think it's really important, and I know everybody is like, we have too many people on the planet, but you know what? I've talked to a lot of people from different countries, especially I've talked to people from India, and I asked them if there are too many people on the planet, and they told me no. So I don't think that that should be a deterrent, because we need children coming along in the future. And by becoming a parent, you have a concern about the future. It makes you a more well-rounded person, and you grow as a human being. It's sort of the final step of growing up, is being a parent and taking a child to their 18th birthday, where they're fully developed adult human being ready to go also. So I do think that 18 is a good age to be considered a grown-up. It is exactly that. And if done properly, you really have a nice independent child who's ready to battle whatever might come in their direction. So after the parenting of about 18, 20 years, then you move into an advisor role where you can play bigger roles in the government, be mayors and whatnot. And then eventually in older age, then you're the storyteller and the grandparent, and that's another part. In the advisor role, you change from being a parent to being a caregiver normally. You then start taking care of your parents as they get older. So that's a whole nother sort of position where you can work 2 days a week as something, maybe you're the mayor of your town, and then 2 days a week you spend doing caregiving, and then you have also your community service. So there's, still plenty of ways to go around and be working and contributing and earning money. So all these different things do earn money. I'm going to say with like 20, if you really go into the parenting role, then you get even more money than what you were earning at 18. Also, when you come back from your community service training, you'll anyways get a raise at the age of 20. And no matter what job you have, you'll have that. But then kicks in mother's pay and father's pay, and also marriage. There should be some money for that, because marriages can be quite expensive. And then we can look into, as children come, there are certain expenses that come. So maybe there's like just this child pay. And after you have one child, it just sort of stays that amount, whatever it is, and it continues. It doesn't matter if you have one child or 3. I guess if you go over 5, then we might have to talk about another extra salary. But yeah, as you know, my dream is to move away from money in general. And I see that I'm almost at 20 minutes now, so I'm going to stop here and pick up again so that we can have a little break in between. Okay, I'll be right back.